recording, you may hang up or press pound for more options.
Call me. My dysfunctional Uncle Sam asked me to do something today that Bill thinks is completely asinine. I think it's hysterically funny and gives me the ammo I need. Call me. I'd like another opinion before I jump off a cliff in another hour or two. Okay. Maybe it's time to call Pat. Could be time to call Pat. I'm not calling Pat, by the way, right now. Calling another person back first.
You have reached the voicemail box of
Susan Leonard.
At the tone, please record your voice message.
Okay, take two. Call me. Yeah, it's time to call Pat.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. 5052203. Enter the phone number. To end, press pound. Number 4. Thank you. Your message has been sent. You may hang up or leave a voice message. At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options. To leave a callback number, press 5.
Cause I'm still alive in spite of my dysfunctional Uncle Sam. I've been asked by the Department of Justice to do something that some people think is insane. I find hysterically funny, but I want your opinion because I don't want to be fucked anymore by my Uncle Sam. Call me.
If you're satisfied with the message, to leave the number from which you are calling, press pound. To leave another callback number,
Alright, then let's see if we can... that's the other one. We'll try house first, then we'll try the other side. I will find this man. I will leave no stone unturned. I will find him. He's actually worked in government. One of my relatives working in government at high level income. I really do have people everywhere. In fact, he works for Intel also. Hello?
hello?
Patrick Gardner, please.
What's up there, Kurt?
I'm alive. They didn't kill me yet.
Well, that's a good thing, isn't it?
Well, depending on who you ask, me personally, yeah, that's a good thing. Hey, question. You worked for my dysfunctional Uncle Sam for what, 20 plus years?
I worked for them for 20 years and 2 days.
Well, and through Intel, I'm sure you do government contracting, right?
That I wouldn't have any information on. Small fish in a big ocean.
Understood, comprendo. You know about the international security grid, or do you not know about DoD clearance?
No limited information about a DoD clearance.
All right. What was your clearance level? Secret, top secret?
That's only a secret.
Okay. Have you heard of crypto?
Crypto is in what?
It is an intelligence grid. Crypto clearance.
No.
Have you heard of Majestic?
I've heard of the word, but
Okay.
not in any,
When you get bored today, here's your education in your government. Google security clearance levels. It'll bring up under all, DoD handles 80% of all security clearance around the world. Did you know that?
no.
Okay, and then look under images. The very number one image in the top left is a grid chart that looks like an old hangman chart that we used to play as kids in school. Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, and it has 29 levels on it. POTUS, President of the United States, is only at 17 on the grid. Secret, depending on your level, might be around that or above that if you had crypto attached to it. I'm Crypto Majestic. Majestic is top of the grid. It doesn't come any higher. I'm like way above the White House because I've worked with everyone. I've worked with Afghanistan, Pakistan, Turkey, Israel. Pick a frickin' country. I've consulted with everybody through the UN, and I've read intelligence for everybody. And when I read the lines that said U.S. intelligence serves 60% of their intel on the bolus servers in the capital city of Pakistan, more than on the NSA servers at Google in the United States, that sent a big flag up to me, and I stopped the session in Pakistan, and I said, are these numbers correct? And they said, oh, absolutely. And so I continue to read, but I do technology, and you working at Intel can probably get your head around this. If I put shit on your server, I get 100% because I have a peering key. You're not going to put malware or shit on my government server. Does that make sense to you?
I don't know. I don't know that much about servers.
Okay, well, I do because I've run ISP facilities and I've run secure intranet servers set up by the CIA in my own house, and I've invented a lot of technology. If you Google, I help pioneer audio-video streaming on the internet, voice over IP, SSL. I've been involved in high-level technology. I worked with NSA and I still do today, and NASA and JPL. I've had one of the highest clearances on the planet because when you have a genius IQ and you grow up with relatives like we had, did you know that your great-grandfather, and I have documents to support this, Augustus James Gardner was a knight and a lord with a seat on Parliament? Yeah, and in I think it was 59 or 98, somewhere in the 1800s, he renounced the Queen in the communist newspaper and said she was a tyrant, and he was going to America to strike out his fortune for his family, and should have been beheaded for it, but somehow got out of the country alive and brought the Gardners over to America. Did you know that?
I heard that he immigrated, but
You didn't know he was a lord with a seat in Parliament?
no.
And he was also a knight?
Well,
Yeah, and that's why Grandpa got in Knights of Columbus, to follow in his father's footsteps, who was a knight in England. Because they also wanted to be part of the Catholic Church, not part of the English Church, which was at the time mandatory under the Queen, remember? Or do you not know that part of history well?
no, I don't know that much about it.
Did you know you're also related to the Kennedys?
So Kennedy?
Yeah, the Kennedys, like in the White House Kennedys.
Well, they are Irish, aren't they?
Yeah, and you know, the Gardners and the Kennedys fucked each other over in Ireland and England over the years. Yes, we're related to the Kennedys also, according to documents I found that Mom left behind that Annie didn't terrorize. And I've posted them on the internet. If you go to my Facebook pages under Kurt Kelly Entertainment, in some of those galleries that have thousands of pictures, you'll find the actual photos and the original documents and newspaper clippings and stuff, because I posted it to make sure if somebody ever stole it, I still had it archived somewhere. So if you ever want to see it for family history's sake, it might take you on memory lane trip you had no idea you were part of. Anyway, I had an interesting phone call with the FBI today. Do you know who those fun people are? Pardon?
Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Yeah, have you ever had the pleasure of dealing with those criminals with badges?
Well, I was going to say, I don't get any people low profile, so.
But have you ever had to deal with them, is the question.
No.
Pardon?
No.
Oh, I have for like decades. I've consulted on counterterrorism, counterintelligence, RICO, all kinds of shit because my government made me do it. I didn't have a choice. I was told because I knew too many people and knew so much information around the world that I had contacts everywhere and I could find out stuff that they and the CIA couldn't. So I was going to go in and get information for them. I didn't really have a choice because they offered me 100 years in a federal prison where they beat the information out of me and I'd pay them $10 million for the privilege, or I could stay on the outside and do television and film and work with them. So I chose the outside. What would you do? I mean, I was only in my 20s. What the fuck would you do? Would you work with them, or would you say, oh, fuck you, I'm just, put me in prison? What would Pat have done? I'm just curious. Had the FBI approached you when you were in your 20s and said, you're going to work with us whether you like it or not, shithead? Would you have said, nah, throw me in Guantanamo Bay. I don't want to do that.
I don't know what I've done.
Huh?
I said, I don't know what I've done. Probably would have worked for him.
Well, let me ask you this. If you know the movies like Jason Bourne or 007 when they're, or Taken, there's a good one with Liam Neeson, when they get in a real pinch and people are trying to kill them, spies or other assholes around the world, and then they have to run to a place to get cash and get another passport so they can change their identity? That's not how it's done in the real spy world. You know how it's really done?
No.
You have multiple identities on the same passport. You flip a page, you can go into an airport, duck into an airline, and fly under a different name. And they're looking for Kurt Kelly, and I could be flying as Joseph Cronin or Edward James or any other incarnation I decide to. Because I have multiple names on my passport. I've never shown you that? Yeah, I have special clearance through the State Department.
If you have a passport, don't you have to have your aliases listed?
I do. But that's what I'm saying. All I do is flip to another page and it says the bearer of this passport's also known as, and there's names there. Versus having to go get another passport. I can just go into an airport and fly as Kurt Kelly or Joseph Cronin or Edward James or Joe Kelly or any incarnation of that because they're all listed on my passport. I've flown as Joseph Edward. And Edward James, who has credits in television and film on the internet, is also me. I just, you know, the more lines I'm on, the more residuals I get. If you look at my credits on IMDb, I not only write and produce and direct and act and do voiceover, I distribute and I'm the only actor in the entire 40 plus years of Saturday Night Live. This is true TV history, including Eddie Murphy. Anyone who's ever appeared on Saturday Night Live, Alec Baldwin, anyone? No other company has ever gotten a production credit on Saturday Night Live, but if you look at on IMDb, I'm listed as not only on episodes, but I'm also listed as Live Video Inc. production company and Kurt Kelly voiceover, along with Broadway Productions, Universal, and NBC. I'm the only person who has company credits and producing credits as an actor on the television series and writing credits on Saturday Night Live. No other actor who's ever appeared on the series has been able to do it because they won't allow it. But since I retired in 1999 officially, the only way you can hire Kurt is to hire his companies, and they do get a production credit because we take a percentage interest in the production, or I don't show up. It's that simple.
So, what are you doing now?
Well, I've been asked by the FBI to go in and videotape a guy who told me he's FBI undercover, and I've been debriefing on a lot of information over the last year, but now it's come to my attention that the email address he's given me is bogus, and the name he's given me, according to the FBI, is bogus, and they want me to videotape them, then call them back and go in tomorrow and show them the video of who this guy thinks he's FBI, because he's not FBI, or he's giving me a bad name, or he's CIA or some other asshole. Either way, if he's not who he says he is, it's a federal offense. He'll spend the rest of his life in a federal penitentiary. Bill, my best friend on the planet, thinks I should just not deal with this and let the FBI figure it out. Me realizes this adds to my life story and credibility that I'm not full of shit if I have real footage that I can also put into a film about my life story. And by the way, according to the Department of Justice, yes, I can release my classified life story as long as I don't breach national security too badly. And I'm willing to pay the consequence, because if I'm taking down public officials like, say, our president for being a Satanist fucking pig, they still are in power, or they have people with a lot of money and influence, and they could turn around and whack my ass. Bill thinks I should just go write the book and do the film and go into hiding. I think I should videotape and get more documentation and release it at the same time and still go do the film and fuck all these assholes over in our government who are trying to overthrow the U.S. government right now. What would Pat do? Would Pat run and hide with his family? Or would he try and stop these assholes from fucking up the planet?
I don't know.
Because they plan to genocide 7.3 billion people by 1919. And that's not a joke. I can tell you how to find it in public records.
Well, I'm sure there's probably other people working behind the scenes to prevent such an issue.
So what would you do? Would you go help the FBI figure out who this spy is? Or would you just walk on the whole deal and say, fuck it, I'm going to go play it safe and play in the sand today with the girl I met from Italy? What would you do? Who's probably a spy from Italy. Huh?
You meet a young lady from Italy?
Yeah, I met a lady on the beach about 4 days ago.
Huh?
When I had given up on all of humanity and said, God, you know, if you want to take me now, because I'm tired of these people here. They're fucking stupid. And I'll stay and do the concert for world peace if you need, but Jesus Christ, I'm done with assholes on planet Earth. And I said, send me an angel. And then this lady came walking up on the beach like, you know, looking like Bo Derek in the movie 10 to me. And she's 38. She just had her birthday. She's a Pisces. Mom was a Pisces. And she's single. And she's come to America to try and get Italian products into the U.S. market. And we've talked about that. And we've talked about marriage. We got together last night for the first time since our meeting, which was, I don't know, on Wednesday, like 2 days after her birthday. And I brought her nice presents, and she introduced me to a Switzerland actress who's also a French actress who wants to break into England and U.S. film, so she's here to learn English. And I'm in this place with 12 beautiful women from around the world. Only women can stay in this Airbnb, but I was an invited guest. She made me dinner, we drank, we smoked a little weed, and we talked about love and marriage. And I don't know, if I get married a third time, it'll probably be to this girl.
Well, I think I would have to tell the world to hold on for a minute. I need to figure out where this is going.
Well, I already have plans to see her later today, but not until this afternoon. We're going out to a naked beach in Malibu, and she knows it's a naked beach, and that's fine. She's from France, from Italy, and they go naked on beaches there. I'll have no problem with her doing whatever she wants to do. Because I also asked her, I said, would you do me a favor? She said, what's that? I said, will you teach me how you want to be loved? She said, really? No guy has ever asked me that. I would love to teach you how I would love to be loved. I said, good, I'll spend the rest of my life, you be my teacher. So at least it's off to a good start, and I kissed her hand goodnight, and I excused myself around 9:30 and didn't stay too late so she could get to bed and get up in the morning for her early morning walk. And I haven't gone to bed since. I've been wandering around the planet calling the FBI and fucking with people. Oh, and documenting facts in my life that Uncle Pat and the rest of the world didn't know, and posting them on a secret channel on YouTube called Disaster Relief Inc. I texted you a link to your cell phone, I think, a few minutes ago. So if you look and follow the links, you'll find like 100 videos that will change your outlook on life, I guarantee it. If you can get through them all. Because I'm also shooting one called Snitches, Bitches, and Witches, Criminals with Badges Gone Rogue, which is an undercover film on crooked cops and FBI agents who are actually running the drug and sex traffic and terrorism on planet Earth. And it's supposed to be protecting and serving against it. How's that for a scary film?
Well, yeah.
I've had people watch the real footage who know me, and they're like, Kurt, why aren't you in hiding? I said, well, technically I am. No, you're still here. We see you. And how are you still alive? And they're going to kill you if they catch you with this footage. Yeah, that's probably all true, but there's a reason Kurt's still alive, because I'm a really bright motherfucker. And if I help train everybody's best intel, I know how to stay ahead of all of them. Whoops, there it is. Now you got another thing coming. You know, I like rock and roll. I'm going to rock and roll all over these motherfuckers. And you'll actually, if you watch the footage, even see real life footage with me interfacing with cops who are saying, you need to go home to your mommy, and hanging up on me after I've been robbed. You'll see me also talking about stuff going on the beach here in Southern California that would change your mind about having your daughters come here without your guarded protection ever again. And that's not a joke. Southern California has become more dangerous than fucking Tijuana right now. We sell more girls and boys into drugs and sex traffic here in Southern California than most of the planet. It's Hollywood. Hell, we even do snuff films here. Real ones. I've witnessed them. I've seen people doing porn videos in cars on the fucking street and on the beach. And Satanistic rituals and sacrifices on the beach. It's really fucking strange here in Hollywood right now, dude. And some of the drugs that are floating to the kids on the street with Flakka. Have you heard about this one?
It's strange everywhere.
But have you heard about Flakka? Flakka. It's a flesh-eating vampire drug they're putting in crystal meth that people are smoking, and they're jumping through car windows and eating people to get their next fix.
No.
Google it go on YouTube and type in FEL Fleck, FLEKKA or EKK, and it'll come up, and you'll see actual footage of people in like Miami and stuff jumping through car windows to bite people's faces off and rob them for their next hit of meth. And that's real footage. We're not putting it on the news because we don't want to alert the population we're putting flesh-eating zombie stuff in drugs for homeless people. The Night of the Living Dead. See, we've already been programmed how to live and die with movies like Armageddon, Fifth Element. We know how we're supposed to die. We're supposed to run down the street screaming, going, oh my God! Or, have zombies we're shooting because we're trying to stay alive from the Night of the Living Dead. But if you want to change your life, look at GeorgiaGuidestones.com. I'll send you some text. If it's too much, just type stop. But if you start to look at it, it'll change your whole outlook on life. Religion, politics, and everything they taught you, throw it in the toilet. Start over. Do some research. Realize you're in extinction number 6. You've done this before. You just weren't aware the other 5 times in this lifetime. It's documented on the internet by NSA and Google. Or the HAARP project, where we haven't had natural weather on planet Earth since 1959. Did you know that?
No.
It's run by your government in Fairbanks, Alaska. Or CERN, C-E-R-N, the mind control project run globally in every country by the CIA, where they control people's minds. These are real. These aren't jokes. They're real facts. But you have to know where to find this stuff, and then they can always say, well, hold on, this has been going on for 60 years. Why is it a problem now? Plausible deniability. If it's been in the public eye and the public was too stupid not to know it was there, that's not on them, it's on you. They didn't lie to you about controlling your mind. They published it. It's on the internet. You can find it. CERN, C-E-R-N. Pretty amazing, isn't it? When you know what to look for. Or here's a good one. Amarillo, Texas. Plantex plant. Do you know about that one?
Yeah.
Okay. So, some of these you've heard of. Anywho, are you coming to Hollywood anytime soon?
No.
I may be leaving for Italy by the end of April. I promised the FBI and the State Department I was leaving the country a couple of years ago. I lied. I didn't go. I've been here the whole time videotaping all their corruption.
Oh, I hear Italy's pretty nice. I've never.
I hear anywhere on the planet's pretty nice, except the United States, according to the Department of Justice and Diplomatic Security Services Protective Intelligence Investigations. Oh, that's a good one to look up. On State Department, look up DSSPII, Diplomatic Security Services Protective Intelligence Investigations. These guys interface with everybody. Interpol, FBI, CIA. You don't get a motherfucking passport to fly anywhere an American citizen flies unless these fuckers say you're clear to fly. They're the motherfuckers who run everything. And I have a special handler at DSSPII who's below me on the grid but still calls and lets me know that the White House and the State Department's pissed off because I won't shut the fuck up. Oh, well, hey, I'm not government property. I'm a federal contractor. Go fuck yourself. You asked for my opinion? There it is. I've been told I'm the best patriot this country's ever known for humanitarian rights, and most of the world will never know what Kurt Kelly's done, or Edward James, or Joseph Cronin, because it's so high-level classified, and I should shut up about it, or they're going to make me look like an idiot and a lunatic, and they'll make, I don't know that you know this, but I've served 3 life sentences in foreign prisons in my lifetime. Did you know that?
No.
I'm the only guy I know who's done life sentences and is still on the outside. Go fuck yourself. Hey, when you know people, you make phone calls. I really have. That's documented. I've done 3 life sentences in Mexico. I had to sign contracts with the Mexican government, French government, Canadian government, and U.S. government as part of the North American Free Trade Agreement that said if Kurt Kelly, Joseph Cronin, or any of his identities ever go back to Mexico willingly, knowingly, or otherwise, I forfeit my U.S. citizenship and become property of the state of Mexico. I had no idea Mexico was a state in the United States, but I'm going to give my ass to them if I ever go back to Mexico again, because they don't want the footage out of the Federale and the Mexican cartel loading large kilos of drugs onto U.S. warships that I was on and had videotape on and was doing the drugs with the officers who were loading the shit on. Oh, sorry, did I say that out loud? We are the drug cartel, dude. If you don't give America what we want, we'll put sanctions on you. We'll surround your country like Grenada, and we will put up U.S. warships. We will shut you the fuck down, and if it doesn't work, we'll put drugs on your street paraphernalia. We'll overthrow your government, or we'll just send in an assassination team. Whatever works best for us at the moment. We're America. We're proud, and we fuck with everybody. And it's time we get honest about it and admit we're the terrorists, and we help to fund with the allied nations ISIS, ISIL, the Taliban. They all work for us to keep people in fear. Wars aren't real. It's bullshit. How's that for a Sunday morning wake-up call? Hey, happy belated birthday. When was your birthday?
Coming up?
When was your birthday? February what?
January.
January what?
January.
January what?
28.
And you're what sign?
Huh?
What sign?
I'm an Aquarian.
See, that's why we get along. If you look at Gemini and Aquarians, we get along. If you look at Capricorn and Gemini, I don't think we're supposed to get along. Maybe that's why I don't get along with my cunt sister. Aside from you and one other cousin, I have not talked to any member of my family in about 3 to 5 years. No cousins, no aunts, no uncles. I did reach out to Eddie Cross a couple times, and he reached back, but we could never connect. Is he okay?
Who?
Pardon?
Who are you talking about?
Eddie Lee.
Last time I heard from him, he was doing okay.
Did his mom pass? Did I hear his mom pass?
Yes, she passed.
And is Alice Sue still with us, or is she gone?
Alice Sue and Uncle Mike are the only two left of the generation.
Well, if you're ever so inclined, you can let them know I forgive them, but they're probably going to rot in hell for some of the stuff they did to me, honestly. But, you know, for some reason, they don't want to talk to me ever, and they always give me very shitty vibes whenever I'm around them since Mom died. Has anyone ever told you what that bullshit's about or not?
No.
And I don't ask you to get in the middle of it either. I just, you know, if you want to pass along a message, hey, I was talking with him, he said he forgives you for the past, and they may start a shitstorm, they may say, okay, thanks, I have no idea how, but if you're inclined, it'd be interesting. They won't take calls from me. So, I tried to reach out, so I've given up trying to reach, and certainly I haven't talked to Annie in probably since John died. Have you talked to her? Is she okay, or is she insane as always?
Who?
Ann Elizabeth?
Your sister?
Yeah. Satan's daughter? Pardon?
I talked to her. When did I talk to her last?
Is she still insane or is she recovering? Is she neurotically still the victim of life and everybody caused her to have all their heartaches?
No, she never expressed anything like that to me.
She never told you that she never let Mom see her kids until she was on her deathbed?
No.
And that she took all the important stuff out of the house before John and I could get there because she didn't go to the funeral. She raced up when Mom died. The second she knew Mom was dead to steal stuff out of the house. And as John and I are getting there, she's driving away saying, I gotta go, all the good stuff. You guys can have the rest of the junk.
No.
Oh, yeah. Annie also, according to the Cronin side of the family, and I believe the people who told me this, said at a Thanksgiving dinner in front of nieces, nephews, aunts, uncles, I was incested by every uncle in my family, and my uncle who was hosting it, who's telling me the story, pounded on the table and said, that's bullshit. I never incested you. Well, everyone but you, and she continued on a rant. My other aunts have told me stories where she went to see them in the hospital where they were in near death and just lost their husband, and where she ranted on them why they were part of her misery in life and why Mom and I are such rotten, evil people. How could they like us and keep in touch with us? Annie's never had... She even made sure that John was not to be buried in a federal cemetery like he wanted, and that he was to be cremated, and she didn't pitch in a dime and got Uncle Mike and Aunt Alice and everybody to pull up money they were going to put up for John's funeral. So I had to pay for the whole fucking thing. Otherwise, John wouldn't have been buried in Sheboygan, and they were pissed that I had him buried in the family plot next to John and Danny. Oh boy, did everybody give me shit about that. How dare you take up a family plot for John? He's not worthy. You should have buried him next to his dad. I don't know. John wanted to be buried next to Mom if he couldn't be buried in a federal cemetery, so I honored his last wish. And if that pissed everyone in the family over a plot, get over it. It's a bucket of ashes, folks. Move it if you don't like it. That'll be on you. I honored his wishes. What would Pat have done? I don't know. I didn't call and trouble you with any of this. I just made decisions. And ended up pissing off a lot of people in the family because I was the executor handling Mom's death and John's death, and I wanted to honor their wishes. Mom wanted to be buried next to Danny. They didn't want her buried there either. They wanted her buried next to Dad. Why would you bury her next to somebody she divorced and she didn't want to be buried next to, and she wanted to be buried next to her dead baby? That was her parting wish when she was dying. She asked me to make sure it happened. I honored her wish. She didn't even want a headstone. I paid for that. And she just said, spread my ashes there. They didn't even have to be buried. No, I made sure it was done right. Because that's what she wanted. She just didn't want to have to ask for it. Because she knew it was going to cost a fortune. I did it anyway because it was the right thing to do. And everybody in the family was pissed. And that's when Mike and Nancy and Alice Sue and everybody told me I was a fucking self-centered asshole and I should let them run it. And I was too close to it. And we haven't talked since my mom's funeral.
Well,
And none of them showed up for John's funeral. Even though we let them know it was happening, no one from the family showed up. It was me and his ex-wife. We were the only two people at his funeral.
Well, I wasn't there either. I can't really say.
Well, I didn't try to burden everybody with it. It was enough dealing with that, I couldn't get back and help him in time, and he died of gangrene in his stomach, and I watched him die on a table while Annie flew into town and told the doctors to shut everything off and stop helping him when I was begging him to keep him on life support and do every heroic effort to save him. And because she was an attorney, she had me overridden. Once again. Annie's been very spiteful with me ever since I told Mom that she was pregnant as a teenager and Mom made her get an abortion at age 16. And that I wouldn't send her money so she could continue to travel around the world and lie to people. And she was working for Procter & Gamble, telling them that she had her degree from U of M. That's why she didn't graduate from U of M and had to move to West Virginia. They banned her from the school and from Procter & Gamble worldwide. And so she had to move to West Virginia to even finish her law degree. That's the only state that would accept her because she committed perjury internationally as an attorney when she wasn't licensed or barred anywhere. She was still in school. Little stories your cousin has probably never told you are actually factually true. That's why I can't talk to anybody close to her toxicity, because I know most of it is lies of what she's doing, and I can't subsidize that with any more time. I haven't talked to Annie since she blew up John's funeral. I called her what I truly felt at that time, that she was a fucking cunt and she should go to hell and leave me alone and never call me again. When her son picked up the phone and told me that I was a fucking asshole and that his mother thought I was a laughingstock, I shouldn't call there anymore. I said, listen, you little fucking asshole, put your goddamn mother on the phone before I fly into town and kick your fucking ass for being a stupid shit. You're 17, show some goddamn respect. Last time I ever talked to him, I'm very saddened by the way this girl's turned out to me and to other family members that, you obviously didn't know about, but is the reason why I could probably never talk to her in this lifetime again without wanting to drive a crucifix right through her Satanistic heart. That's honest. Sorry for so much confession so early on a Sunday morning, but I wanted to call and say happy birthday and let you know I was still alive and raising hell.
Well, that's good, because the last time I talked to you, you said you were leaving the country, so...
Well, and everybody thought I did, but plans changed thanks to my Uncle Sam, who keeps having me robbed. I have gone through $3 million in assets in the last year alone, trying to stay afloat and get the fuck out of this country. I've gotten as much as $10,000 in my hands at a time and couldn't get far enough from the place I cashed all that stuff and got robbed of all $10,000 in a matter of hours. More than once. My biggest hit was $250,000 one afternoon, where they took all kinds of computers, Intel, a Range Rover car and title, all kinds of shit, dude. I have stuff hidden around the world, but even if you have a lot of money hidden around the world, when people keep robbing you, it kind of impedes your travel ability. Funny how that works when you lose all your credit cards and you have to wait weeks to get new replacement IDs and credit cards. Kind of ground you. They don't let you on many airplanes without passports and, credit cards and shit to pay for planes. They don't usually let you fly cash, no ID anywhere that I'm aware of. Do you? Hell, I can't even get on Amtrak that way. So they kind of kept me here against my wishes, even though they've been begging me to get out of here, because these fuckers have been part of making sure I'm robbed and kept in town. They just wish I'd shut up and stop videotaping. But they also want me out of the country. I just wish they'd make up their fucking mind. But I've decided, come hell or high water, I'm probably going to go to Italy the end of April with this girl, because I need a break. I'm tired of this shit. I'm fed up with it. Nobody should have to live this way, Pat. But it's going to make for a hell of a movie if I live to tell the true story. And if I don't, at least you got to hear some of it from me before I die. Because if it's my time, it's my time. I think living in fear is a wasted emotion. You can blink at the wrong time and end up dead. If somebody wants you dead, they can fuck with you if you're not paying attention. So I think you should always have all eyes wide open in today's world, because there's a lot of crackheads on the street today. I don't know if you noticed, but since Donald Cunt has become president, anybody who was already an asshole is an even bigger one now that they have a fearless leader in the White House. Have you noticed that? Or is that not hit New Mexico?
We've got quite a few problems here.
Oh, dude, it's changed countrywide. Crime has skyrocketed. Is it skyrocketing in your city? It's gone up by 100% or more in West LA in the last year alone. Home
Oh, it's
invasion,
definitely
rape,
gone up.
robbery, murder. Pardon?
It's definitely gone up.
Oh, it's skyrocketed since Trump's gone into office and started telling everybody you can have guns. And how about the guy who had the gun and was a licensed security officer at a school where, 18 people got capped last week and he didn't even go into the building and help save any of them? What the fuck is that? And now they're talking about every teacher needs to carry a gun in the classroom. I don't know that that's a good way to teach people with a gun, that you could just start capping kids in your office. I don't know, it's kind of weird to me.
Yeah, I don't think the teachers should be carrying the gun.
I don't think there should be any guns on a fucking playground, period, except maybe for police and security guards who know how to use them and will when some asshole shows up and not stand outside the building and go, oh shit, good luck, they're firing inside. I'm going to stand outside and watch. What the fuck is that?
There should be a security task force there.
Thank you. And a SWAT team on nearby call, so if somebody wants to be a terrorist, you can take them off the grid quick. There's no reason innocent kids want to die when they're going to school or be afraid that somebody's going to break into a classroom and fucking blow them up today. Fuck, I'll take online classes. It's a lot safer, thank you.
And I think we're seeing the end of days of brick and mortar schools.
You think? I think you're going to see a lot more homeschooling when there's a couple more terrorist events like, some of them we've been seeing breaking out on college campuses and schools around North America. Hasn't there not been enough innocent kids getting killed while they're trying to get an education, or are we not past that margin yet? We need a few more deaths before we wake the fuck up. We are overarmed, over-medicated, paranoid, schizophrenic, fat, overweight, stupid people in America who excessively use too much shit and waste a lot. It's time to wake up. We used to be top 10 in math, science, and in English, and now we're not in the top 100 in anything in America anymore. We've become fat, dumb, and stupid. That's honest. And overly armed, overly medicated, and overly fucking paranoid. Maybe we should learn how to get along again? Or try this one on for size. Did you know in Amsterdam they have zero crime because drugs and sex are legal there? And if you want it, go buy it and have a good time and don't fuck with anybody. Maybe we should just make it legal worldwide and see how that changes everything. Wouldn't that be an interesting concept? If you want to get high or OD, go do it. Leave me out of it. If you want to get laid, go do it. Just don't give me your disease. But if you want to fuck with me, I'm done being a nice guy to assholes. I think it should be open season on assholes. Put them in Guantanamo Bay and get their ass beaten daily with other assholes. How does that sound like a good plan for world peace? Get rid of assholes. And by the way, all these rich, self-entitled people, you're all citizens on planet Earth and you're an alien if you come from another universe, not from another country. So let's get clean air, food, and water for everybody and stop this fucking horse shit about who gets the good shit and who gets the bad shit. And maybe all those rich 1%ers who are so self-entitled need to be homeless for a fucking couple generations for the shit they've been doing to everybody else. What do you think? Does that sound like a plan? And everybody gets an equal share. Now, you're 100% invested in planet Earth with your share. And if you blow your share, then guess what? You're fucked. And if you start robbing people, straight to Guantanamo Bay in hell. And if you're a nice person, maybe people will help you out. And if you start doing other nice shit for people, maybe they'll help you out again and give you some of their share just to keep you from being an asshole. But maybe you should start being nice today and pick up shit around the world and stop bitching I'm only one person. Because guess what? There's 7 billion people on the planet and you're part of the problem if you're not helping. How's that for honesty? Does that sound like a good plan for world peace? See, this is what I want to do on my concert for world peace. I've already scheduled it for my birthday. I'll be 50 years in entertainment, rock and roll, and government. Go fuck yourself, and then longer. And I'll be turning 60 May 31st, 2019 through June 6th, 2019. I'd like you to tell me who I can contact at Intel and make them a sponsor, because I'm going to need a lot of servers, because I'm going to broadcast this in 360 virtual reality and have the Rolling Stones, Cirque du Soleil, lots of celebrities, and raise a lot of money to restore rainforests, teach people about sustainable living, recycling, clean air, clean food, water, and alternative medications over synthetics, so you can stop being fat, dumb, and stupid. And maybe we should make globalized healthcare, not who has the best in this country and how much you have to pay for it, but because you're a citizen, you get good healthcare, good food, good water, and now have a good time and stop being an asshole. And if you need 72 virgins for hurting other people, straight to Guantanamo Bay! What do you think? Does that work?
Who knows?
It's a lot to digest, but if you can get your head around it, it's certainly a concept. And if you realize life is more like the Matrix and God is kind of like dog backwards, and isn't it interesting that the Catholic Church and pagans have holidays on the same day so they don't fuck with each other when they're making sacrifices or rituals or celebrating, but the rest of the year we all screw with each other. I'm thinking if you're good most of your life, you're going to end up in a place like heaven or another good place. But if you're an asshole and you find religion in the end of time, go fuck yourself. Straight to hell, no hand basket. What do you think? Right in the shitter. You're either going to be good most of your life or you're an asshole. If you're an asshole, why do you get to hang around good people anymore? Fuck off. Is that a good plan? Send the assholes straight to hell. What do you think?
Think it'll work?
Well, there's only one way we're going to find out. But it's going to take the 99% raising up against 1% and say, we're done with your horse shit. Employment is slavery, and now everybody has an equal share. Go do what you want. You want to be an artist, you want to play piano, you want to stop bitching about your job and have a good time. And if you're still bitching, go right to hell. You had an equal share now. What's your problem? And by the way, I like to thank the Catholic Church for the word fuck. Fornication under cardinal laws. They started the word fuck. They used to put it on your file if you got divorced. You could not be buried or remarried in the Catholic Church. Remember, that was a cardinal sin if you got divorced and remarried in the Catholic Church. You remember that?
Yeah.
And you know how they made sure you couldn't be? Because they put your file